Hi guys, it's actually been a little while since I've actually sat down and done a talking video. Normally I do ASMR, but today I thought I'd sit down and actually have a chat about some of the artworks that I've been doing. So basically, a lot of you may know that recently I've been doing a lot of reprinting over some old print works that didn't necessarily work out as well as I had hoped. So what I did in the basic schemes, the black bits here that you can see on the bits of paper are the original print. There was just too much negative space for this one, so I thought I'll put a blue block on top of it. Doesn't matter if it's not solid because I'm just going to draw on top of it. After that dried, I had 3 attempts at drawing 2 items, which is through a still life medium, which are just these 2 little plants. I did 3 separate drawings and I just kind of moved them about front ways, sideways, and also because of the time of day, the sun was actually setting quite well. Projection of light onto the plants was different every time I started a new drawing. Very technical for just a drawing, but I just wanted to add that in for any of you that you will notice there are certain different items and features in the compared to the other 2 drawings. I just wanted to show you a couple of them because I actually really like this process. I thought kind of a really nice way to get several different drawing techniques into one without it being too much. The idea of it, this is basically the first one that I did. Originally I thought, oh, it's actually a bit small comparing it to the other 2 compositions. I thoroughly enjoyed this drawing. This one for me is probably the most successful of the 3. Not to say the other 2 aren't great, it's just because the composition, the form, shape, tone, sense of depth just works really well because of the different marks that we've got. So these are a bit more free, a bit more organic, where these are a lot more straight, and it just kind of fills the centre of the page and it's not floating, it kind of sits, but it's not being too forcing in the placement of the paper. So that was the first one. The next one I did is just underneath. Changing the perspective again and also the composition. It is quite hard to be able to draw the same thing once you change several different layers to it, whereas this one we had the spiky plant in front and then the more flatter in the background, but there was a lot more darker shades, so I had to implement more chalk to kind of brighten it up and take it away from the background compared to the first one, which was literally more drawing the objects, where this one is kind of taking them out from the background and using the whites to be able to show that the item is there, but also not making it too obvious at the same time. This one, it was a bit more difficult because the background was difficult to work with because there was a lot more features and details and very little bits that you had to concentrate. You kind of had to sit back and think about this one a bit more. Still successful. And then we'll move on to the third and final one. I had to go quite deep, I think that's the right word, because it wasn't as... there's only like 3 different shapes in this one, but they're very dark compared to the last 2. And because these are shapes of the darkness rather than the shapes of the lightness, if that makes any sense at all, there's more negative space on this one, but it's been covered up by the blue and the black more than the second one, which was a lot more grainy and transparent compared to this one, which is a lot more opaque. Again, you can see that I kind of did struggle a little bit with trying to get the actual items onto the page, but also making it look semi-realistic, but in a light kind of technique. This one's a lot more harder compared to the first one, which appears a lot more softer, a lot more organic to what the other 2 drawings were. I just thought I wanted to sit down and just have a little chat, maybe get some ideas, because sometimes actually sitting down chatting out loud triggers things in my brain, and I'm just like, oh, I could actually do that. Like last night when I was thinking about filming this video, I came up with 2 ideas just falling asleep because my brain never switches off. I thought this process could actually be the way forward for what I've been trying to establish for the last few months, which is a still life drawing of I'll just show you the object. It's basically this pot of pens and pencils. I've been obsessed with it to the point I've been trying to use it in several different mediums, and for some reason I just can't get it right. I end up overdoing the process and kind of spoiling what I'm trying to get out of it. I've tried it in drawing, I've tried it in painting, I've tried it in printmaking, but maybe it's actually a combination of the 3. I do have plenty of these backgrounds to use, and maybe even another technique which is kind of exciting. It's basically a press release. a printmaking relief, but I'll go for it properly in my next video, because I do plan to video that to see if the process works, and also to help me think outside the box as well, because having anyone else's opinions does help, and talking out loud helps. Being able to sit in the art room helps. Just being able to talk out loud about art sometimes really just establish what needs priority and how I'm going to get there. So yeah, I hope that wasn't too much for you. I know some people don't like talking videos, but I find them very, very helpful in my practice, and also it's just nice to be able to focus a bit more on the theory side more than the practical side. Even though this is to do with practical side, you need to kind of sit back and actually think about the artwork and see where you can progress through it from A to B to the final product. I hope you guys enjoyed. Please give this video a like and subscribe to my channel to see more videos like this, and I will leave a couple of my recent videos in my description box if you would like to check them out. Don't forget to also check out in my description box links to all my social medias and also my eBay selling account, which is where I sell all my artworks and any extra little bits that I feature on my channel as well. But until next time, I shall see you guys later. Bye now.